Welcome to the Crosswalk Coach to the Common Core training video. This video will provide you with an in-depth view of the Crosswalk ELA product. You will have an opportunity to view important details and highlights of the student edition. We are very excited about this product and believe it will be a huge help in transitioning teaching and student learning to the Common Core state standards. Crosswalk Coach to the Common Core was developed to be a transition from the state-specific standards to teaching and learning the Common Core state standards. To help with this transition, the books include a chart that lists the Common Core standards that are covered in each lesson, as well as the state-specific standard that correlates. If a school is currently using the Coach state-specific product, the Crosswalk Coach can be used in tandem to provide flexibility in the transition. Educators are feeling very confused and unsure of what to expect with the Common Core, and they're asking us a lot of questions. In an effort to support the teachers in every way we can, we have included a Common Core FAQ page in every book. Among other things, these questions address how and why the Common Core will cover each skill in a deeper manner. If you are familiar with the lesson format in the state-specific Coach books, you'll realize that the Crosswalk lessons are slightly different. The lessons still include the step-out examples, guided practice, and scaffolding that have worked so well for students in the past. However, we added a diagnostic assessment at the beginning of every chapter and a cumulative assessment at the end of each chapter. Finally, at the end of the book, the students have access to the Mechanics Toolbox. This is a new feature for the Coach books and serves as a handy grammar reference guide. What better way to learn about this product than to take a detailed look at the pages in the student edition? It may be helpful for you to follow along and make notes in your own copy of a Crosswalk Coach to the Common Core book. You may also want to stop and pause and reread the callouts that pop up on each page for further highlights and important features of the product. In this video, I will review a Grade 4 book based on the Common Core national standards. The structure and layout of a state-specific Crosswalk Coach to the Common Core book is exactly the same. The only difference between the national and the state-specific books is a correlation chart outlining where the state-specific correlates. Looking at the table of contents, you'll notice that the lessons are grouped into units according to the strands of the Common Core state standards. As mentioned earlier, each chapter includes a diagnostic and a cumulative assessment. The diagnostic assessment has multiple choice and open-ended questions, and the answer keys for these assessments are correlated to the corresponding Common Core state standards. Student performance on this assessment will identify individual strengths and weaknesses. The cumulative assessment at the end of every chapter is parallel to the diagnostic. Student performance on the cumulative assessment will indicate whether or not a student has mastered the content of the lessons covered in that specific chapter. At the end of the book, the students have a summative assessment that will review all of the skills covered in the book. The reason for the assessments integrated into each chapter is because of the belief that Common Core teachers should be assessing students throughout the year to see where they are and to have an opportunity to remediate in areas where they need additional skills practice. This allows teachers to receive continuous feedback on how students are formulating ideas and be able to correct any misconceptions along the way. Let's take a deeper look at one of the diagnostic assessments. The passages within the Crosswalk Coach books will be a bit longer. This is because the Common Core expects students to read material that is longer. The first passage in the diagnostic will follow with multiple choice questions, but the second passage will include a combination of multiple choice and open-ended questions that require a good amount of writing, so students will get used to formulating an idea and composing a writing passage. The students are also exposed to a variety of text genres such as drama, poems, fiction, and nonfiction within these assessments. If you are familiar with the Coach book lesson template, you'll remember that each lesson had 4 pages, 1 page of instruction, 1 page of coached examples, and 2 pages of practice. The Common Core books have an expanded 6-page lesson in order to help students learn the skills on a deeper level. Now the lessons have 2 pages of instruction with charts and graphic organizers that break down specific key ideas. The next page of the lesson is a new feature of the lesson, Again, Common Core puts a huge emphasis on writing, so this page of the lesson is focused specifically on thinking it through and writing in response to a very short passage. The fourth page of the lesson is the coached example, just like in previous coach books. Students are provided with a short passage followed by a couple of questions that include hints that remind the students to refer back to the passage to determine the correct answer. The last 2 pages of each lesson is the lesson practice or independent practice for the students. On the left, you'll notice a reading guide to help students better understand the passage. The guide prompts students to think deeper about the passage and identify details as they read. The lesson practice also includes multiple choice and short answer comprehension questions to go along with the reading passage. The last question in this practice will always be an open-ended question for students to continue to emphasize writing in every part of the lesson. I'd like to quickly review the summative assessment at the back of the book. Even though we don't know specifically what the Common Core assessment will look like, this assessment reviews general information and skills required by the Common Core. Just like the other assessments within the Crosswalk Coach, the summative assessment will have a combination of multiple choice and open-ended question, and it will look almost identical to the format of the lesson practice for each lesson. There are a total of 50 questions in the summative assessment, and to encourage writing, there is also a persuasive prompt asking students to write a letter and include all parts of a proper letter. The last thing I want to cover in the Crosswalk Coach to the Common Core book is the Mechanics Toolbox at the back. This is a new resource included in the Coach books. The purpose of the Mechanics Toolbox is to provide students with a handy grammar reference guide. Since the Common Core puts great emphasis on writing, students need to know and understand basic grammatical skills. They will be expected to construct clear and succinct writing passages, and they will be graded on their grammar and mechanics. Writing and using grammar correctly is very important, and this will be a big change for teachers and students when transitioning to the Common Core standards. The Crosswalk Coach to the Common Core Teacher's Guide provides teachers with a lot of additional resources to help transition into teaching the Common Core. Teachers receive an introduction to the Common Core state standards that will help them understand the specific expectations. Also included is a chart that correlates the Common Core standards to the appropriate lesson in the student edition. A special summative assessment correlation chart that correlates the answers to the Common Core standards and Crosswalk Coach lessons. In addition to the work text answer key, the teachers will have a mini lesson and reproducibles that can be used to introduce students to each chapter. We hope you have found this training video to be informative and helpful. We appreciate you taking the time to learn about Crosswalk Coach to the Common Core and how it can effectively help teachers and students transition to the Common Core standards. For more information about this product and to review the books for all grades, visit triumphlearning.com and select your state. Thank you.